I had been in a spaceship far away from Earth when I first encountered her. She was a woman, or at least, she looked like one, with translucent skin that shimmered with the glow of distant stars and eyes that glowed like twin moons. Her alien beauty was beyond anything I had ever seen, and yet it was her pain that captivated me. I couldn't help but want to know her, to understand why she looked at me as though I was the only thing keeping her from falling apart. Her name was Arithis, and her world was one of peace and order, a place where emotions were controlled, kept in check by a rigid society that prized logic and detachment. But when we met, something inside her shattered. She had seen the fleeting, ephemeral nature of human emotions, the raw beauty of love, grief, anger, and joy, and it left her with a deep longing. Her curiosity about Earth, about humanity, drove her to abandon everything she knew and follow me across the stars. I never expected it to happen. One moment, we were standing on my ship, talking about our worlds, and the next she was beside me, holding my hand as though she never wanted to let go. The pull between us was electric, and I couldn't deny the strange connection that formed almost instantly. But like all things, the magic of the moment faded. Life, the complications of our different worlds, and the weight of what we couldn't understand soon took its toll. 6 months later, it was a quiet night when I heard the knock on my door. A slow, deliberate knock. The kind you hear only when someone has the weight of the world on their shoulders. I opened it to find her standing there, her glowing skin faintly flickering in the dim light. Her eyes, those haunting eyes, were filled with sorrow. Arithis, I breathed, surprised but not completely. After all, she had been following me, in one way or another, for months now. But her appearance was different. She was shaking, as though she couldn't hold herself together. "Why did you leave me?" Her voice was soft, a whisper of anguish that I couldn't ignore. I stood there, speechless, trying to comprehend the words. She took a step forward, her eyes never leaving mine. "I followed you, across space. I left everything for you. And yet, when I arrived here, when I saw your world, everything changed. Why did you leave me?" I wanted to explain, to tell her that it wasn't that I didn't care for her. But how could I? How could I explain the complexity of human emotions to an alien who had never experienced love, pain, or loss the way I had? To her, humans were strange, unpredictable creatures. She had been fascinated by us. But now, the weight of my departure must have crushed her. "I never left you," I said, my voice trembling with uncertainty. "I didn't know how to be what you needed. You were different, Arithis. You were more than I could understand. And I didn't know how to stay when you couldn't feel things the way I do." She stepped back as if struck, her eyes darting away from mine. "You don't understand, human. I came to you because you showed me something I had never known. But now, I'm lost. I'm trapped between two worlds, yours and mine. And I don't belong in either. I feel too much, but not the right things. I want to be with you, but I don't know how. I am broken." I closed the distance between us, gently touching her arm, feeling the warmth of her skin despite the coldness in her eyes. "We both are Arithis. We are both broken. But maybe we don't need to be whole to be together." Her gaze met mine, searching, as if waiting for something. "You don't understand, human. You may think you're broken, but you have a way of feeling, of embracing all the mess that makes you human. I've never had that. My people, we suppress everything. We live in harmony, but it's not real. It's a lie. And now, I don't know what I am anymore." I could feel her pain, her confusion, and the crushing weight of her solitude. "Arithis, listen to me. You may not have grown up with the same emotions we have, but that doesn't mean you're broken. You're still you. And maybe together, we can learn how to embrace it, how to feel without being afraid." For a moment, there was silence. Then, she spoke again, her voice shaking with quiet resolve. I thought I could change, that I could understand. But now I see the truth. I will never truly belong here. And neither will you. She took a step back, and her eyes filled with unshed tears. I came here for you, but you are from a world that I cannot touch. I'm not made for this. Not for your earth. Not for your way of being. I watched her leave that night, and as she walked away, I felt something break inside me. She had followed me across the stars, left her home behind, and now she was walking away, disappearing into the night as if she had never been. But then I realized she hadn't left me. I had left her. I spent the following days and days thinking about her, about the longing in her eyes and the pain in her voice. She had followed me because she wanted to understand what it meant to be human, but in the end, she had realized that understanding wasn't enough. She was a being of the stars, someone who could never be tethered to this earth. And neither could I. I went to the place we had first met, the empty space near the edge of the city where she had arrived. I stood there for hours, hoping she would return. But she didn't. Days turned into weeks, and I finally accepted that she was gone. 1 year later, I had returned to my life, trying to forget her, but she was always there in the back of my mind. I couldn't escape the memories of her eyes, the light of her skin, and the pain that had written itself so clearly on her face. I had failed her, and I didn't know how to fix it. It was during one of these moments of quiet reflection when I received a message. A simple transmission, with no return address, no name. But I knew who it was from. I will never understand you, human, but I understand enough now. I will not return to you, because I do not belong. But know this. I will carry you with me, just as you will carry me. There was no signature, only the silent echo of her voice, and with it a sense of finality. The journey we had started together had ended. I never saw Arithis again, but in a way I didn't need to. I had learned something important from her, that love, no matter how fleeting or impossible, is never truly lost. It changes, it transforms, and it remains etched into the stars and into the very fabric of the universe. And as for her, Arithis would continue her journey, wandering the stars, carrying a piece of humanity with her, as I carried a piece of her. She was right. We were both broken, but in that brokenness, we had found something beautiful, something that no one could ever take away,